Hey guys, Kristen Leek here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about coding, design, and anything else you want me to talk about. Today I want to share what UX is and why it is important. So first, let me put on something a little bit more appropriate. Oh yeah, this is way more appropriate. The reason why I have on this shirt by Tech Talent South, Glitch, Don't Kill My Vibe, it's because I went to their UX course for beginners. And that's the really cool thing about Tech Talent South. They have so many courses besides just their coding boot camp, also known as their Code Immersion, which is part-time and full-time. And for those of you who have been following my channel since the beginning or most of the way, thank you. And you already know that I went through Tech Talent South's Code Immersion. I did a full-time boot camp, and when I signed up, what I did not realize is that Tech Talent South offers a lot of courses. They have an iOS course, a JavaScript application course, obviously the UX course, which I did. They have a data analytics. There's so many things that they offer, and they even offer tutoring. What? So yeah, I attended their UX for Beginners class, and it was a fantastic course. UX stands for user experience, and what user experience is designing for people and how they use things, whether it's an app, how they use a website, how to use software. It's design focused on human beings. So what I love about it is that there's a lot of psychological things that go into it, and it also takes away the whole romanticized aspect of design. Like, we often want to design things that we want to make or that we think looks cool. When it comes to UX design, you focus on how a user will navigate a website, what will make a user want to come back to the website, what makes it easy for them to find things that they're looking for. And if you want to learn more about this, you should check out my video with Jessica Greco on Girls Talk Code. We go really deep into user experience. In many ways, user experience can overlap with UI design or UI development. UI stands for user interface, and it's pretty much the layout of a website where buttons are placed, where you find the pictures, where things are located, the navigation bar, whether it's at the top or if it's on the side of the page. It can definitely overlap, and it gets confusing, and we definitely covered that in the class that I took about the differences between the two. And if you are interested in this career, you need to recognize when employers are putting these two different positions into one. And a lot of UXers end up having to do that. So UX is more research-based. You need to constantly research innovative ways to improve the UX of the product you're working on. You research competitors, you research different types of functions that are the latest trends. And other things that UX designers do is sketching. You have to sketch out your ideas as a wireframe, which I have a video on wireframes if you want to learn more about that. And you create prototypes with software like Sketch and Envision or Adobe XD. There's user testing to monitor how users are using the product. There's creating flowcharts to decide what's going to be on which screen and in what order. And there's storyboarding. There's card sorting. There's a lot that goes into what you see on a website or on an app. It's not there just because it looks pretty. And most people do say without people, there's no purpose in designing a product. And it's true, the users are the most important thing when it comes to building an app, a web app, a website. They need to be able to use it for their needs, otherwise there's no reason to have the product at all. So I want to end this video with examples of why UX is important. This is something my teacher at Tech Talent South shared with us, and it has definitely stuck with me. He shared 3 things with us. I'm only going to share 1, maybe 2, and one of them happened in Florida. Jenny is a patient at a hospital, and she needed 3 days of hydration using an IV. Fortunately, there were 3 nurses who cared for her, and they had over 10 years of experience, very good nurses, but they were so busy and distracted that they just couldn't take the time to look at this software that they had that had a lot going on in it, pretty complicated. And the nurses did not see that recommendation in Jenny's file. When the morning nurse came in, she saw that Jenny had died from toxicity and dehydration. Because the last 2 shifts, no one had hydrated her using the IV and the special protocol that was mentioned in the software. And it's really unfortunate because these are 3 very qualified, good nurses. They were trying to figure out this software to look like this. And all they needed was to check the tab at the top that said HM. They completely missed it. It's really unfortunate. And if someone with a background in UX were to design this for the hospital software, it would have been much easier to navigate and it wouldn't be so tricky and so intimidating to learn. And there are other situations like that with cars and websites, apps, where a person is using that product for a specific reason and they cannot use it. Another example of UX that definitely stuck with me after this class is the story about Chrysler. You guys know the car Chrysler. And how in 2014 they had a Jeep Grand Cherokee that had a horrible gear shift. And it resulted in the death of a Star Trek actor. Things like that affect people's lives. And even though an app or website maybe seems so small, like UX is involved in every product that we use. And this is why more and more companies are beginning to prioritize UX. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of UX and why I've just been so fascinated by it. Not to leave this video on such a bummer note, but to become a UXer or to do UI, like I said before, there has been some overlap to where it's 2 positions. And what that means is that you need more skills. So it is important to know code. It's important to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And that's because if you were a UI or UX designer and you wanted to create how an app works and you're going to do a prototype, you need an understanding of the capabilities. Let's say that you are a UX designer and you create a prototype of an app. It makes a huge difference to know how to code, because then you know what's possible and what's not possible, because you're going to pass this off to a developer and you have some idea of what is achievable. Or the complete opposite. You design a prototype and a developer comes to you and says this can't be done because of X, Y, Z. And well, because you're familiar with coding, you can first understand what they're saying, and then second, you can think of alternatives for them, like to help them out. Again, I mean, I haven't been in the actual situation, but that's the reality of it. When you are in UX and UI, you are doing a lot of collaborating. You are on a team, and the ability to code is huge. And also having an eye for design helps well, and also researching and a willingness to talk to people and to learn and monitor and just be extremely detail oriented. So that's where I'm going to end things today. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. And if you found this video useful, please give me a thumbs up. If you want more UX videos, comment below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.